Load it up, Carl. This shit feel like game 7. Put lines up through my S's. Wake up in the morning, count my blessings.
Welcome to the Money Down. We got our guy Bill Bad joining us, entrepreneur, multi-store owner of Crumble Cookies, doing big numbers. Yeah.
How many? Five? I'm the Booker T of Chicago right now with Crumble.
Yeah. Oh man. When we have people on, we like to go back to the beginning. So I'd like to ask you what kind of sparked your interest, in entrepreneurship, and like where you're from, and kind of what that means to you.
Absolutely. So I'm a 5-star recruit linebacker, and I'm just kidding. Yeah. I watched a couple episodes. I'm like, shit, how do I fit in? I gotta make a story. Like, maybe I'm Ed Reed's son or something. I don't know. Troy Polamalu's brother. No. Basically how I got into it was I was born into it. So my father, immigrant, Pakistan, came over Chicago. This man was on like the Sears Tower, putting on the windows and getting any job he could get. He was a cook at Jack in the Box. I mean, this guy was just trying to do it all. Hustle. Then one day, at our mosque, that got really popular. I'm Muslim. And so at our mosque, there was all these whispers in the 80s of this concept called Subway. And people were just investing in it, saying that this is going to be like the next thing. It's a good job. They're looking for people. They're expanding. They're getting big. And my dad saved up all his pennies, and went all in. And he went all in on this concept called the Subway sandwich. And he took that store in DeKalb, Illinois, Northern Illinois University.
NIU.
Yeah, NIU. Yeah, shout out Coach Hammett.
It's the best, man. And so I was actually, I was born in Elmhurst, but then grew up in DeKalb, Sycamore area. And I grew up in the Subway system. My dad was also a franchisee, invested, went all in. And, I was a little kid stacking chips, doing inventory, all that kind of fun stuff. So it's essentially in my DNA, being a hustler, being someone that takes advantage of, of great opportunities. It's what my dad did. And so it's what got me into it. And, essentially Crumbl is my Subway, and that's how I got into franchising.
That's tough.
Bill, I just want to ask you, right? Like growing up, Subway was the spot to get your subs at. Now, obviously, there's a lot more shops that have expanded and came into the whole picture. But what was your favorite sub growing up? Like mine's was that chicken, bacon, ranch.
Yes.
So what was your favorite sub?
Yeah, absolutely. So my favorite sandwich of all time is the Philly cheesesteak. I mean, we had different renditions of it growing up, obviously, because I remember Subway, back in the 90s and, to what it is today. But, to me, the Philly cheesesteak and then the chicken teriyaki, that's a classic.
Yeah, the chicken teriyaki.
You can't go wrong with that.
Teriyaki was dope too.
Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
That was the sweet onion, right? The sweet onion chicken teriyaki? Yeah, that thing was fire, right?
A little bit extra sauce on there.
Yeah. That was my pacifier, man. I grew up in I was drinking that thing.
Hey, I was a fat boy. I was a meatball marinara kind of guy. That was my
meatball wasn't my go-to. Cause I didn't really like subs like that to begin with. Then I expanded to the chicken bacon ranch, and then it was all bets off after that.
Man, Subway had a run, y'all boys. I will say that. They cookies too now.
Them raspberry cheesecakes.
Oh, God. Quick story for you. Subway, obviously was getting bigger and bigger, and they had an exclusive deal with a company called Otis Spunkmeyer.
Yep, Otis.
And they said, listen, do not sell these cookies anywhere else. The recipe is exclusive for us. You make it just for us. And so that's actually the provider for the Subway cookies. I'm not too sure what it is today, but growing up, I remember seeing the packaging of Otis Spunkmeyer. We used to have muffins, brownies, back in the day. And so, it's so funny I'm in the cookie business. And obviously that's a family joke now, growing up on Subway cookies.
The Otis Spunkmeyer, boy, I remember my brother, I think his football team in high school used to sell those, like the frozen cookie dough jokes and make those. Things the hit way back then, so it makes sense.
I'm not sure where my boy Otis is at right now, but I'm sure he's living good. He's on the Amalfi Coast.
He's looking good. He's looking good. I was gonna ask, before you got to Crumbl, did you have any other things or any other ventures that you had in mind, or business opportunities that you wanted to pursue that you possibly didn't, in order to pursue Crumbl, or something you did prior?
Absolutely. So, obviously, my father provided me the best opportunity in America, and that was to dream. I was able to explore all sorts of things, go to school. I went into stand up comedy and acting. I did Second City improv here in
Dang.
Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah. I got casted for this TV show, went on to LA, show didn't get picked up. I ended up staying in LA for like 2 years doing stand up comedy and
Dang.
doing commercial acting. And, it was just something in my early 20s I had a passion for. But I think, the best part of, if you call, life a career, is those early mistakes or early, kind of like misdirections where it's just like I was meant to learn something in LA,
That's good.
and I learned that I am just a people person. I love to please people. That's kind of like what I loved. In stand-up comedy, it was looking in the crowd and seeing them laugh and say, wow, I did that. And growing up at Subway was providing that customer service that I saw my dad do, that the customer walked away so happy. And I was just like, this is what I love. I love to make people happy, So whether it's through comedy or through customer service, hospitality, this is what I want to chase. And so going back to my early career after LA, I invested on my own. I'm a cool young 24-year-old dad. I got this. I don't need your help. Mom, thanks for the Subway learnings, but I'm going to go do my own thing. And I went out to Vegas. And I was in Vegas for 5 years and also operated 2 franchises out there. Not to be named. They are a pizza buffet concept out of Texas.
Okay.
And, I operated those for about 5 years up until COVID. And I thought I was a know-it-all. I thought I knew what I was doing, and man, did I get my butt whooped. Holy cow. I thought I grew up in it. I thought I had some good learnings, in LA and things like that. And, just managing people and, at the end of the day, when you're an entrepreneur, it's the liability aspect.
Yeah.
You have a lot of things with your name on it.
It's all on you.
And man, left and right, every single month was another problem. And Daddy wasn't there to hold my hand. And so, I didn't think I needed him. I was a cool, hotshot young guy, took out an SBA loan. I got this. I was like, Dad, can you come out to Vegas and help me out? I'll buy you an apartment. Can you just come out here real quick? It was unbelievable. And, for the first time ever doing business on my own was more difficult than you think. You really learn to value family. You really learn to value a team, when you kind of go through do things on your own. And, I'm never regretful of, my mistakes or, of my fails. They truly made me want to wake up every single day and just work harder. And no one was there to wake me up. My mom wasn't there to, wake me up, throw water on my face and say, hey, get up, go to school. When I was in Vegas working on my own, being an entrepreneur, I had to set my own alarm clock. I had to make up my own hours. I had to know when to check the cameras, run to the bank, order this, not order that. How to manage employees, all sorts of HR, marketing. And I think I threw myself in the deep end and I just had to run and gun. And, I was throwing Hail Marys left and right. Sometimes it would land, sometimes it wouldn't. And I knew I was going to take all these learnings with me one day. I knew I was trying not to be too hard on myself, but I knew that my time was going to come one day. And I was just going to take Vegas as almost like a grad school and just learn and, network and, just keep building. Although I was having up and down years, I just knew something was meant to happen for me. Maybe not this, but something. And, COVID happened. I was a buffet concept, and I lost everything. It was horrible.
Buffet with COVID.
No buffet going on with COVID at all.
And when we talk about COVID, it almost sounds like we're talking about something 20 years ago.
It's so
like
crazy.
4 years ago.
Literally just last year.
How much we all aged. And, like I said, Daddy wasn't there to hold my hand anymore. And so I truly lost everything. And back to the liability, my name was on everything.
Yeah.
So, man, did I had to deal with, the government, bailouts, liquidation, landlords, everything. It was horrible. And, it's so funny when I was living in Las Vegas, because of the, I'm a buffet concept. early February, all the casinos started closing down. And we were like, what is going on? What do they know that we don't? And, in Vegas, most of those concepts have locations in Macau, in China. So they were closing down early. So I knew something was coming. Wow. And that was my moment where I needed to scramble. This is the wildcat formation. Here we go. I need to figure out something. And so I started listing my stores for sale, OfferUp, Craigslist, pots, pans, everything. I was like, I need to get out of here. I was like, this company's going nowhere. They weren't online ready. I was going from, I think within 2 weeks, I saw a 90% drop in sales. And this was like the sink or swim. Do you say, stand up, chest high, I'm gonna turn this ship around. And I was like, I'm selling the ship. I need to pull an audible. I need to get out of here. And so I was trying to liquidate, get out of everything, slowly but surely. And, this is March. And then April 26th is the next month. So I'm a month into COVID. I'm closing down my businesses. I'm depressed more than ever. I'm claiming benefits. I can't pay myself. I'm on OfferUp, dealing with people over $5 spoons, just to try to get in some money. And it's my birthday, April 26th, 2020. And I was really into bodybuilding at the time. So I had a trainer that was training me in his garage. And so I, had cheat meals here and there. They were always savory, though. In-N-Out, Raising Cane's. Those were like my go-to, for cheat meals. And my trainer was a big fan of this concept called Crumble Cookies. And he would always post them, and they were gigantic and swirly and confetti and all this kind of stuff. And I always just, because I used to be almost 300 pounds in high school, I have this firewall in my head where I know I'm going to like it. I'm not going to go eat it because I'm going to get hooked. I'm doing so well. I'm not trying to go backwards, And so it was one of those concepts I just didn't want to try because I knew it was going to be good. And then finally it was my birthday, and he's just sitting there during my session convincing me, like, come on, what else are you going to do? I mean, this is COVID. The strip is closed. I was 28 at the time. I mean, Las Vegas, single 28.
Your prime right there.
I couldn't go Calvin Harris, Omnia. I couldn't go EBC. I couldn't, go sit down to Gordon Ramsay. It was depressing. And I was losing my businesses. It was horrible. So it's like I didn't want to treat myself because I didn't feel like I deserved it. And so my trainer was finally like, you know what, man? I'm going to DoorDash it for you right now. You're going to try Crumbl. And I was like, you know what? Screw it. It's my birthday. This is the closest I'm going to get to like any sort of celebration.
Yeah.
We finished up my session, and the DoorDash comes. Out comes this pink box. He hands it to me, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? This is not like the pictures. Like, I was truly blown away. And I have this all documented on my Instagram. There it is, the pink box. It was beautiful. It was eye-catching, gourmet. I lift up the box, and I'll never forget the flavors. I had the Oreo cookie with the Oreo frosting on there. I had a Twix cookie in there, a brownie stuffed peanut butter cookie, and then a white chocolate macadamia was also in there.
4-pack.
The 4-pack. And I'm just sitting there recording this thing going, all right, let me just record this and tell my friends I'm trying this stuff. I take a bite of the Twix first, and I go, Twix is one of my favorite candy bars. I mean, that is just an iconic. I remember the ice creams. I used to eat those little Twix ice creams, and I was like, this has got to be good. I take a bite, and my mind just goes nuts. It was like a huge aha moment that just went, wait a minute. All my learnings came at one time. First off, how photogenic the item is, how gourmet it looked, the branding, all together, the total package of this item made me say, wait a minute, what is this? And I take a bite of the Twix, and I taste the caramel in the Twix, and I said, hold on. This doesn't just taste like normal food service, Smucker's caramel. This is like thought out. This is not just some Instagram-y, nothing but cakes, like flashy cupcakes or something like that, like just for show, but doesn't taste that good. IG was tricking us a lot early on, and I take a bite, and I was just like, somebody thought this through. This is like somebody highly educated who had heart, who had passion, who hired the right people. they made an amazing product. And instantly my entrepreneur mindset went off and said, I'm not kidding you. After one bite, I started Googling. I was like, okay, do they have locations? This is a franchise. Like, how do I get involved? This is amazing. Like, holy crap. I look at their Instagram. They have these drop videos that look like movie trailers. I'm like, hold on, does Christopher Nolan own this company? Like, why are these like drops so like detailed in 8K cameras and everything? And I look it up and they had no locations past Colorado at the time.
Okay. That's what I was about to ask. I was going to say, how many locations were there at that time, like total?
I would say at the time, maybe like 200, maybe less.
Okay. Gotcha.
This is 2020.
So it's still small, yeah.
And then I finish the box. I get the Oreo. I take it home to my family, and I show them, and they try them, and they all say it's amazing. But then, my foreign parents would tell them the price, and they're like, "Oh no, it's horrible now." No, actually, I don't like it that much. It's $20. Oh shit! And so, times have changed. And so, I was kind of telling my parents, I was like, "This is it. This is the idea. Like, I want to take everything I own, all my savings, and put it into this." My parents went, "You're crazy. Just chill, go get a normal job. Who the hell's going to buy $5 cookies?" They came from $5 footlong, right? So for them, they're thinking this is a ripoff. And, but we're a different generation. We're the type that's going to wait for the fresh chicken at Chipotle. We're the type that's going to pay the extra couple dollars for free range.
100%. Yeah,
we're different.
I want to dream while I eat my cookie, and that's exactly what I do every time. Bro, that's what I do. You take a bite into a cookie. You take a bite into a cookie, and my eyes roll back.
Oh man,
I gotta ask you,
experience.
What was that process like? Cause I remember after 2020 when Crumbl came out, like the first one that came out from like by where me and Sojourn was from, like on University Avenue in Davie, Florida. I DoorDash it as well. I tried. I was like, oh, this is a hit. Then probably like a year goes by. Like I was still playing for the New England Patriots. There was nothing, like that in the area. I thought about like trying to franchise me one of those. And I know you can like you can go online and I mean, it's too late now. Robert Kraft already got one right there in Patriots Place. So that's over. That's going to take all the business. But what was that process like for you? I know you just said you kind of Googled it and looked into it to try and figure out how you can get your hands on building your own store. How did that process go?
Yeah, absolutely. So, obviously I have some experience. I grew up in franchising and hit them up and contacted them. I'm sure they were getting blown up, by so many inquiries. But I could sense that they're going to be picky. And so, I did some researching, looked up the owners. Sawyer Hensley was my age, and he was the founder. And, as I was going through the hoops, hitting them up, nonstop, kind of sent them, some articles of some great things I did in Vegas for the police department and, how essentially clean cut and gourmet I looked like their product, is what I was trying to prove to them. So I was sending them, blasting them away. And then finally I got the phone call saying, "Hey, we'd love to meet you at our headquarters in Utah." So I go to Utah. Yeah, it was awesome. And I go to Utah. I meet the founder, Sawyer. We kick it off. He's such a great guy. I could tell, there's some people in life, as an entrepreneur, you want to be the leader always, but there's always some people you can look up to and want you to.
Get blown up.
Sawyer calling right now. No. But I knew that we would get along, and he was somebody that I could learn from, and I wanted to essentially bail me out and lead me out of this hole that I put myself in COVID because I was lost. I didn't believe in myself. I knew what I was looking for, and I knew I could do it. I knew that, if I was given the right product or given the right concept, I could help. That's all I wanted to be, was a helper, and that's okay sometimes, there's all these things that are said on Instagram to be the leader, be the CEO, hashtag I'm boss, boss girl. No, it's okay to follow in somebody's footsteps for a little bit until you can walk your own. And so that's what it means to actually be a true entrepreneur, is to be able to be led, to be a leader. And so I knew that this guy could lead me. He was very, strict, his way or the highway. He's all about the details. And that's his big thing that he loves saying. It's all about the details. Now you think about Crumbl and you realize when I say that, it all makes sense.
Details.
And I felt
look at the detail.
All in it, baby. And he was very tech savvy. And that's another thing I wanted to be led in as well too, is, the technology aspect, the TikTok, revolution that was going on at the time during COVID. He was leading the way. He cracked the code. And so I knew I wanted to be a part of this, and I knew I could help him and be his lieutenant, and so we got along. They approved me to a franchise in Illinois, and they gave me the rights. And funny story, we kind of butted heads in the beginning. Me and Sawyer did, because he's like, "We're going to let you open up in Chicago," and he's from Utah, right? So he's calling Chicago essentially the first part of Illinois, and he goes, "We want you to open up the first location though in like Oak Brook or Glenview or Northbrook area up in the burbs." I'm 28. When he told me that, I was just walking out of the Chain Smokers with a bottle service, and I was like, I'm not going out to the burbs. That's not happening. No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just a diehard Chicagoan. I wanted to find my way back home to Chicago, proper Chicago, downtown. I knew this product would be timeless in an inner city, metropolitan. And this goes back to how I was saying I wanted to help the company. All their locations were in Costco plazas, Target. It's an easy target, to be in those type of plazas. And so I wanted to challenge them. And I said, let me open the first ever inner city store. He said, absolutely not. And he's like, we're not prepared. We're not prepared. We don't want you to fail. We really like you a lot. And, it's too big of a risk for us. These are Utah people. They see a town like, Chicago, and it kind of worries them, which I don't blame them. They're used to, nice grocery stores, lead anchors, drive-through plazas. The funny, cute question they asked me one time was that, how are your employees going to get to work? What if nobody shows up? And I was like, we have this thing called the L, And so they wouldn't do it. They wouldn't budge. And they said, oh, I'm sorry, we can't let you open up. They said, go ahead and open up one in the burbs first, and then we'll let you do the second one. As long as you don't fail, we'll let you do the second one, because it's a new concept. They also don't want to fail themselves.
Right.
So talk about. So I was gonna ask you, talk about that with us, like the process of opening up in the burbs, and then just kind of the struggles, the success. How does that whole story fit and come, from you?
So I didn't open up in the burbs. I fought.
Oh, okay.
And this is another, learning sometimes that, with an entrepreneur, you sometimes, you'll be led by these franchisors, these higher up companies, and sometimes you have to kind of prove your case. When you show that passion right there and proving your case, that's how you, sometimes, get your way, and kind of get through to these companies that sometimes want to be safe. This goes with all sorts of negotiations. You really have to win the room and be the salesman, for the idea that you have. And I knew that's what I needed to do, was be the salesman of Chicago to Crumbl. So I am just driving around town, filming these kind of like high traffic areas. And what really won it for me was I took a video of Jenny's ice cream. Their line out down the block on Milwaukee and Wicker Park. And I sent them that video. And this is after numerous emails. Like, they're ignoring me at this point. I sent a business proposal. I was like, I'll go to the hospitals. I'll go to the big corporate offices, and I'll, a nice business proposal, like a business plan. They didn't care. And then finally I sent that video. And then I get an email back saying, you know what? Let's do this. Let's open up the first ever inner city Crumbl. But we want to let you know, if you fail, we're not granting you any more stores. You're on your own. We're advising you, like, legally, that we don't want to do this location. You do. And I was like, let's do this. I was already all in. I had nothing to lose. My chips were already in. I was like, if I'm going to bet on anything, first things first, I'm going to bet on myself. And myself believes that Wicker Park in Chicago is going to be gangbusters. This is just going to go out. I'll be the next Jenny's.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you that, man. Like, obviously the name of the pod is called the Money Down Podcast, and we want to give people a platform to be able to come on and talk about, the moments that they had to make to bet on themselves, to change their life for the better. And we want this to be encouraging to our listeners that are possibly going through that, or at some point, everybody has to go through their money down moment. So, like, was this that money down moment for you? I know, we talked about things going on with COVID, and you decided to make the jump into Crumbl. But talk to us about that, and when the chips were stacked against you, what was that like for you? Like, what was your mindset? Because a lot of people, in the entrepreneurial space, when things aren't working or they get told no, people crumble.
Crumble, no pun
They crumble. But what was it? But what was it for you that just kept you driving and kept you moving forward and kept you driven with Crumbl?
I'll be honest with you. It was quite an emotional moment for me. I was, very, I was told by a lot of people this wouldn't work. And I actually was looking for investors and couldn't get anyone to put down any money for me. And so, it almost felt like, all the odds were against me. And at the end of the day, I'll never forget this. It was every last dollar. I was eating oatmeal and, eggs every single day. And, I was returning shoes that I'm the shoe guy, and I was returning shoes. I remember,
we people over here too.
We got some sneakerheads. It hurt.
Yeah, it hurt, man. It really did. But I really, believed in Crumbl. I believed in Sawyer, my fearless leader, that I wanted to lead me. And then also I believed in myself. And I believed in Chicago. I knew Chicago would support me at the end of the day, and I knew this was the right product. And so, this taught me that in life, there's going to be people that are going to doubt you, even your entire circle, even people closest to you. But at the end of the day, you have to find it in here and do a slight, calculation. Obviously, this was a very good calculated, guess that this would work out, but then also a lot of faith.
Yep.
And I told myself, you know what? There's people that believe in God, people that don't. I believe in God. And I said, you know what? I've been through everything. I've been through hell. This has to be it. This has to be my moment. This has to work. It has to. And so, and I promised him, I was like, I will be there every single day, open till close, wiping down the floors, doing the dishes, whatever it takes to make this work. And it ended up working. And it ended up being a huge, store, a lot of good numbers. I don't like saying out loud too much. I like being humble about it. But it paved the way. It blew the corporation's mind. There was a line out the door every single day. I was there open till close. And, all the people that doubted me kind of look back and go, you were right.
Right, yeah.
Smart.
Even Crumbl too. Crumbl was just like, you proved us wrong. Congratulations.
So Bill, I want to ask you, right? Like, what was that oh shit moment? Like, damn, like this is going to really work. Like, how did it? Because you gave us your story and just how everything felt like it was crumbling down. Like you said, you knew that this had to pan out and work for you. So what was that? What was that feeling like? Like, damn, it's on and popping, huh?
Yeah, and this is the honest to God story. I never had that moment because I was so busy in a tornado of a concept. There was a line out the door all day. I had a line of normal people, given this was about a 900 square foot space. And, we're pushing the high numbers. And so I had a line of people out the door, a line of third-party delivery service people. And I'm just sitting there orchestrating this thing, trying to get going. I never could even have that moment because I was so busy. And by the time I went home, the feet were barking and I was passed out. And so,
I was tired. He was tired.
I literally felt like I blacked out for the first 6 months of operation. I'm not kidding you. It was just so busy. I truly did not get to have that moment, I think, until later on, when I kind of saw the bank account. And because I never was checking it. I was that type. I was so I'm a Cubs fan, so I'm very superstitious. So I don't like checking my bank account daily or anything like that. Yeah. So I just kind of had that moment later on when essentially Crumbl called me and said, are we going to open up some more? Or what's going on here? And I said, absolutely.
We're doing something right.
I got 5. Count them up. 5.
5 times, baby.
Awesome.
I think that was my moment of holy crap, this all worked out. It doesn't necessarily have to happen right away. And so I feel like it just kind of as things are moving in your portfolio, I think that's when you kind of have that aha moment that like this worked out. And then I'm signing, leases for Michigan Avenue and Lincoln Park and Wrigley Field. And,
big time.
Big time.
Big time location.
I ain't from Illinois, but I know Michigan Ave.
And funny story about that location, it's owned by the Blackhawks family, the Wards family. And they actually reached out to me for a space. The daughter of the Blackhawks was a huge fan, and she was like, or their rep was like, we will make it work. Like, bring this location here, we'll make the numbers work. Because I mean, I'm from here, and so Michigan Avenue is like stardom. That's our Times Square. That's our Vegas Strip. And so I didn't think I was worthy, So that was a grateful moment for sure. So, but yeah, to answer your question, it just kind of hit me as the pieces were moving.
Now let's have a word from our presenting sponsor, Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, you can win $1,000 by only betting 10. And it only takes you about 60 seconds to get your bets locked in. All you gotta do is go to prizepicks.com or download the Prize Picks app and bet over or under on some of your favorite athletes' stat projections this summer. And when you use our promo code MONEYDOWN, Prize Picks will match up to $500 on your first deposit. I repeat, use our promo code MONEYDOWN and Prize Picks will match up to $500 on your first deposit. You can bet small and win big prizes. How do you handle critics? I know you don't own every Crumbl store, but everybody's a food critic these days on social media, TikTok, Instagram. You're gonna please some people. Some people, may be a little harsh. How do you guys handle that?
They don't know what they're talking about. That's how I tell them.
I like, and I learned this from my company, as they are a very, they never answer the noise. They kind of take the higher road. But sometimes I tend to clap back just because, it's the Chicagoan in me, that just has to bark back sometimes. So a funny comment that just happened on one of my review videos was this lady said, why do all your stores look like hospital wings, uncleaned hospital wings?
That's crazy.
And then, I had to make a comment back that kind of went viral. And I said, why'd you give us this advice after we did $1 billion?
Hey, let them know.
Come on.
So the reason we making these deals.
You should have told us earlier. We already hit 1 billion.
Yeah.
We could have made some.
Right? I mean,
hey, what did Jay-Z say? Women lie, men lie.
Hey, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't.
For sure.
That's me, driving down the Bronco on Michigan Avenue. It's like, I got money in the bank.
Hey, y'all ever see the pink Bronco with the black top driving down the street with Crumbl on the side? Shout out your boy Bill. Wow.
It's so crazy because, Bill, I literally remember it probably was like a week or two ago. I seen you post something on your story like, should you clap back or shit? I'm like, yeah. Know what, that being humble, man. Like, go ahead, get him.
This whole Kendrick Drake, culture has gotten, to me.
It's up right now.
Yeah, so I had to say something, and we do, as a company, we'll make some slight remarks here and there, but for the most part, we invite criticism, we take advantage of it. We learn on how to adjust. And so that was kind of like, what I really loved about the brand early on. And what I noticed was that, their weekly reviews that the customers were making, it's almost like we turned our customers into commercials for us. Yeah. They were reviewing the products, telling their friends and family what they thought. And so we were able to kind of take that information and make ourselves better, So I don't know if you guys are seeing the trend right now with the cookies and cream cheesecake and whatnot, but there was comments last year.
Go get to that.
Hey, you hear me.
Chef's kiss. But we heard comments, last year that your cookies are getting boring. Your cookies are like this. It's like, all right, so let's not make cookies then.
Yeah.
My thing is like, I see, I talk Crumbl up over anybody. I don't want to hear nothing about insomnia. I ain't trying to hear about your grandma famous homemade cookies. If it ain't Crumbl, I don't want it. But it's just like, how are you making your cookies boring and you bring out new flavors every week? And it ain't like, and they're not bad flavors. Like, these are like flavors that, like, people, creative. Like, they're creative. They're thoughtful. You talked about the detail earlier. Like, I love that about Crumbl, is that you guys don't keep it the same. Sometimes, like, same can be boring. Change is always good. So the fact that y'all do that week in and week out, like, I think that's amazing. And the fact that y'all come up with these ideas week in and week out is amazing. That's a talent.
Ridiculous. To go back to your first comment, with the other concepts and whatnot, we love it. I always tell people it's almost like you're at a mall. It's nice to have options. Like, sure, we may be the Nordstroms, but you need that Macy's. You need that, that Sears.
JCPenney, man.
JCPenney, if it's still around. But one of my favorite quotes by Gary Vee is that, we live in an and world, not an or. And I love that. I love that thought process because I love choices as well, too. So, there's something for everybody, and sometimes we may, because our menu changes, I don't mind telling customers that we may not be for you this week, maybe another week. We'll catch you another time. It's okay. We'll be all right. And we love that. We love being transparent. We don't like sitting there begging for business or, having a dollar menu or, we just love taking pride in what we do, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And, and then to your second comment, about, how do people get, bored of our cookies and our concepts and everything? I think we kind of spoiled our customers. We went, all out blitz in the beginning, and there were all these crazy concoctions. And so, as customers, we're all customers as well too. It's what's next? What's next? What's next? Oh, that's it? Just a caramel drizzle? What's next? And so
please everybody.
Yeah.
We take that as a challenge. And that's where the cookies and cream cheesecake came in. That's where the tres leches came in, is like, challenge accepted. We'll raise the bar. We got you, and so now there's no more cookies in our name anymore. And so it's just Crumbl.
I didn't notice. Yeah, that's dope.
We want to be the world leader in desserts is what we want to do now,
One-stop shop.
Yeah. And so that's what we're doing. And so we love that feedback. So we love criticism. And I think what it's doing is shaping our company.
Yeah. We're gonna do a taste test in a second. But I wanted to know kind of what is that process like, when you guys are testing, new cookies or desserts, how does that go about? Do you as a owner of a store have any input on that, or is that just something, that's just handled from the top?
We're one big family. We work together. Obviously, we have teams dedicated. We have culinary teams dedicated, but we work as a family, and we love providing feedback. And that's the unique difference of our company is there's no outside investors. It's family ran. It's just two founders, and they listen. They're the best. And so we provide great feedback. We have testing locations. I used to my Lincoln Park store used to be a testing location, but we kind of shift gears every now and then. But we love testing out products, different offerings, so hearing what customers think. We have a full culinary team led by this amazing girl named Amy. And so she's just, highly educated, has been doing this her whole life. And it's just, we have this awesome floor at our headquarters in Utah that is just like a Dexter's laboratory. It is just, you'll see all these crazy concoctions, and you walk in and they're like, try this, try that, A, B, or C, and so, that's the best part is we're always working on something. And so, I kind of, gave you guys a little hint of what's coming next before the pod started.
Can't wait. We got to make sure we throw that gif in there. Can't wait.
It turns me into a fanboy once again before I joined the company, when I hear about ideas like that are coming out soon. And so, so we're always up to something, it's the best part.
Just going back on all the selections, like, I really got hooked on the Crumbl kind of late, but I jumped in when they had just ones that I want them to bring back. When I go in, I'm like, y'all never bring it back. It's the Pop-Tart one. It was like a strawberry Pop-Tart. They had a strawberry cheesecake. That was fire. Then they had it was like a green apple caramel drizzle. I mean, the
caramel apple. Yeah.
The caramel apple.
Yeah.
Crazy. So it's just been impressive. Like you said earlier, it's just been impressive how Amy, right, for Crumbl, how she's been able, and just the whole team, everybody. Shout out to Amy, right? How they've been able to just bring out all these different kind of cookies, now just desserts that have been all hits. Like, I can't think of a cookie or just a dessert that I had from Crumbl that was just like, nah, that's not it. Whether I get really what so. Question for one, what was one of those for you?
There's a couple. So we have this famous thing within our company, and it's on our app as well too. You can kind of search for it. We call it a cookie graveyard. It's a
I've
tab.
seen that. Yeah.
If you go into the app, you can rate our flavors, but then you can also look for a tab that's called Cookie Graveyard.
I've seen that.
And it's our worst reviewed flavors, along with our founder Sawyer and a lot of us. Some things that we said, don't ever bring that thing back. One of them,
I gotta look that up today.
It's if you go to the More tab. I wish I could show this. If you go to the More tab, you go down to the Cookie Journal. You scroll a little bit. You see it's called the Graveyard, and it shows like all the cookies.
The worst. Okay.
What's that second one? That's the one I want to talk about. Second from the top. Can you read that one for me?
This one here?
Oh no, the third one from the top. What is that?
Almost everything.
I ain't gonna lie, that sound nasty. that sound nasty.
But I bet it was good.
I'll never forget. I actually tested that flavor in my store, and it did pretty well here in Chicago. Obviously we're more of a meat and potatoes town, and so people weren't, obviously going crazy over it, but they said, it tastes pretty good. When you take the first bite, it tastes like a combo. Do you remember combos?
Yeah, them combos.
The chips. Yeah,
combos, y'all boys.
Yeah,
it wasn't that bad, but then you take another bite and you're like, oh yeah, this is garbage. Yeah. It's like sweet butter, like poppy seed, cream cheese. It just didn't work.
It didn't work. Yeah,
it didn't work, and it was just something fun we threw out there. We also had one called a bubblegum cookie with bubblegum frosting. No.
I love that. Yo,
I saw some people recently. Was it like a dinosaur or something in the middle of it? It was like a blue, I don't know, like from a couple weeks ago or something.
The mothers. Yes. Yeah, circus animal.
The shark. Yeah, shark.
Oh, the shark.
The shark one. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Every cookie I done had, I've loved. Like I got a sweet tooth.
Yeah, you got a sweet tooth.
I got a sweet tooth too, bro. Any peanut butter cookie y'all come out with, peanut butter is my thing.
We're very good at peanut butter. Absolutely, it's very mushy, very unique, different from other places like a Subway or other types. And so it's a great peanut butter cookie. So yeah, we have some offerings that are obviously very out of the box, and then we have some that like the shark one that are just cult fan favorites that majority of people don't like, but we do it for those fans, the 1%. Is who we do it for. Because we care about everyone, and there's 5 flavors. You can't please everyone, but we try. At least we can dedicate one flavor out of 1 week out of the entire year to give that one child that maybe liked that flavor a lot or something.
All right, y'all want to do the taste test? Which y'all want to?
Let's do it.
I'm trying to see if someone break my new top 5.
I'm not gonna lie.
What's up first?
Y'all do Oreo cheese.
Y'all want to go with the Oreo cheese?
You want to go Oreo cheese or?
Let's go with the cookie, bro. We gotta go with the cookie.
I'm not gonna lie. So I got the
patriotic. Yeah,
I got the
great first one to start.
Fruit pizza.
Scale 1 through 10. Let's give it a bite.
There we go.
I gotta move my raspberry real quick.
That's good.
Get that fruit in there.
About an 8, about 7 or 8 for me. That's pretty good.
7 or 8?
Well,
damn, I was gonna go high. I was gonna say like 9.
I'm gonna give it a 9.3.
I love fruit though.
Yeah, this is your healthy cookie. Everybody, this is healthy.
We don't want to try using that H word too much
not
around
healthy,
here,
I'll tell you that. That one thing is not, but
that's good, bro.
But
that's good, bro.
Nice to get some vitamins in there, absolutely. So great, refreshing. It takes you back to like a picnic, which I love. I love that kind of feeling. Cookies that transport you somewhere else, and that's one.
Summertime vibe.
Yeah, that's a cult classic right there. People love our fruit pizza. That lemony cheesecake. Ooh,
that's pretty good.
Glad you guys like it. What's next?
Hey, but my wife heard me say we trying to fruit pizza. She said, "You better take it, son." Anything that's got fruit on it that Crumbl has made, bro, she loves. She loves it. So I gotta make sure I say that for her.
I'm not gonna lie, fellas. I got a 4-pack today, but I got 2 of those cookies and cream. So I just
let's jump into that. Let's jump into the cheesecake.
I told y'all cheesecake, man. Here we go.
I'm a sucker for cheesecake, man. That's one of my favorite things in the world.
Our whole Instagram chat is full of desserts, and here you go.
Oh yeah, that's a hit right there.
That's good.
That's 10 out of 10.
It's not thick. It's not New York thick, which I like.
Oh, it's light.
Yeah,
it's light.
10 out of 10, huh?
It's incredible.
Amy and a team, man.
That's why I couldn't rate the other one too high because I knew this was going to be 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that's far.
That's good right there.
I ain't saving her none of this one.
Yeah, that's what I got too.
Yeah.
How has that cheesecake been doing in the store? Like, I don't know if you were able to talk about that, but I'm sure you kind of hinted earlier. Like, it's been popping. So, how has that been? Just this whole cookies and cream.
No, and I'd love to dive in on like ups and downs of our company always. I think it's nice to be transparent, and this is like a new rebirth for us. Doing these desserts and customers that maybe we lost in 2023. That were coming to us all the time in 2022 and that said, your cookies are boring now. You guys aren't coming out with anything new. Like, we're seeing them come back into the store now. They're that curiosity factor.
Like, what they doing over there? Like,
And so, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was just at my store right now. When you told me, you texted me to click on that link. I was just parking at my building. I had just gotten home, and it's because I was sitting there helping out my store over on Michigan Avenue. We're sold out. We can't keep up. It's very hard to produce for us, but we're doing our best, and we're so happy of the reception of it very early on into the week. Which is very, very rare for us. Because our concept, the menu changes every Sunday. You see that initial hype on a Monday. You might see a decline on a Tuesday and Wednesday, and just like the Tres Leches, it picked up on a Thursday. It's so crazy how we're able to forecast, predict with social media, with rounds that are going around, or maybe Kylie Jenner tried it, and then we see a huge spike in sales. On a Wednesday night, you will see all this activity. Yeah. And me as an owner, that's what I have to look for sometimes. I'm actually like, for work, I'm on social media late at night, preparing my stores because I say, wait a minute, Kylie Jenner just posted, this cookie and said she liked it. When a girl like her says she likes something,
spread like wildfire.
Spread like wildfire.
Hey, we could be that too if y'all need us. We can.
The money down said it's good, boys.
Hey, money down cookie.
Yeah,
with a gold dollar sign on it.
Anything's possible, and so the Tres Leches picked up on a Thursday, and so we were unprepared and trying to keep up, and that's what's going on right now. This just went out the gates flooded starting Monday, and we just can't keep up. It's a huge hit, and we're doing our best to stay in stock, and it's going amazing. And so like I said, we had a turning point in 2023 going into 2024, and our company pulled something out of its a bag of tricks, and this is it. This is the cheesecake, and it's doing awesome. I'm so happy you guys like it too. It means a lot.
Love it.
There's never enough compliments. Yeah, thank you guys. No, that's so awesome.
You said so when you guys sell out, like, do I expect to come the next day and get it? Like, how does it? Okay.
Sometimes our stores will be temporarily sold out, and what that means is we're just kind of re-upping them, trying to get back in stock with the product and baking it or cooling it, and so we have to sometimes kind of flicker that switch and just market as sold out temporarily, just to not disappoint any customers that may want to order online or DoorDash. We don't want to give them any false
Get a different cookie when the box hit the door.
Can you imagine ordering a cookies and cream cheesecake and not getting that?
My heart would be broke.
Yeah.
No, I think I'll be more mad. I ain't gonna lie. I'll be a little. Yeah, I'll be a little.
I ain't gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be mad.
Let's get in the car and drive 15, 20 minutes to go pull up.
But the thing is, knocking out the pink Bronco. Hey,
yo,
Bill, what's up?
I wouldn't be mad because whatever they send is gonna be good anyway. I just got to hit it the next day. You know what I'm saying?
If you look at it like that, but now I want this now.
Yeah. I want without order. You know what I'm saying?
I've been staring this cinnamon crunch in the face.
Okay, we go to that one next.
Jump in that one. We have a little trick we do with that cookie that I can't really tell you, but it's gonna be different from a normal snickerdoodle cookie when you get towards that center. Go ahead and take a bite.
Let me go to the center immediately.
Right. I love that one. It's a great cookie.
I ain't get that one, y'all boys. I might have to spin back tomorrow. I got to spin back tomorrow.
Yeah, you're going to have to spin the block on that one.
That's good right there.
Very moist, very airy as well.
Soft.
Yes.
Yeah.
Little trick we put in that dough.
About an 8 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to 9 that one.
That's pretty good.
Also, we put a spin on that cereal. If you take a bite of just the cereal pieces, you're gonna notice something different. I hope.
It was good. I like that right there, boy.
It's a heavy coat. You can taste that heavy coat.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It tastes like straight out of the box or nothing.
It's brittled and buttered, actually. Pieces of Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying that, but who cares?
That's okay. And it still has a little bit of that crunch too.
But
it still has a little bit of the crunch texture too, which is awesome.
Yep, exactly. That was the point with that one. So we've had that cookie last year, and we wanted to one up it, and so we did a little trick with the cereal pieces out there.
That's pretty good right there. What you got left? So I don't know what you got in your box.
So I did 2 Oreo cheesecakes. I did the fruit, and then I just went a chocolate chip. Chocolate chip. I was eating that in the car while I was driving.
Yeah.
He got 1 bite left.
It's the McDonald's fries.
I was eating that in the car when I was like, let me slow down because I got dinner that I just grabbed some tacos on the way to I was like, let me slow down before I eat this whole cookie and not.
Guys, you got a strawberry?
Yeah, I got a strawberry.
All right.
I got the mini joint, so
Listen, I'm there tomorrow.
I know.
After the gym, I'm there.
That's pure beauty.
So Bill, I wanted to ask you that because I asked the lady, I was like, "What is that? What's on top of it? Like it's like little." So and she just told me it was like the strawberry frosting and stuff like that. So I was like, let me just stick to what I know. But I'm gonna definitely go back and get it. But I wanted to know what was those little flakes on top.
Yeah, so on the strawberry one, right? That's what you're asking? It's white chocolate curls.
White chocolate.
Normally found on pies. Yeah.
I should have definitely grabbed that.
I will say
a little Gucci touch to it, you know what I'm saying? A little Gucci something.
One thing I want to give y'all kudos for. Excuse me. I want to spit my camera.
Take your time.
That boy enjoy it.
I hear people talk like this all day.
I'm gonna tell you a funny story. Literally, no lie. For about 2 months, for 2 months straight last year, I had to check myself. 2 months straight, twice a week, I was ordering a 4-pack of Crumbl. James know because we would be late night gaming, and that 4 box of Crumbl would be gone in 45 minutes.
Yeah.
100%. Literally, twice a week.
Oh yeah.
And I see the Xbox too. We Xbox gang. So
I just bought the little Black Tower Series X for this game. I've been waiting 10 years for this.
Yeah.
But no one's taking this away from me, man. This was like
that's fire.
It's like the Avengers movie, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is my time.
But I wanted to make sure before I forget, I wanted to make sure I gave y'all kudos because it's really hard to make icing taste like strawberry to get that actual fruity flavor, and y'all do that time and time again. Kudos for that.
We're customers. We also eat out, so we know this kind of things, and so we always want to challenge ourselves, saying, how do we step away from that chemically Jolly Rancher kind of strawberry taste? How do we make you almost feel like you're eating like actual strawberries, like a creamy strawberry, or a strawberry dipped in something. So, on my review, I said that one tastes like strawberry ice cream to me, which I love.
Little mini strawberry chunks in there or something.
One of our secret touches, gourmet. That's the gourmet aspect. Is we take our time, source, responsibly, and really think this through versus just trying to, food service. Cisco, what do you guys got? We'll just dump this Smucker's thing in there. No, we don't do that, and that's been since day one. And that's actually how I discovered the company. Is because we use a caramel that you'll never find. And same thing with that strawberry. You'll never find it. It's just something, we source, we negotiate, we bring into our stores so that you can taste what we taste, which is that special strawberry cream cheese frosting.
Sure.
Crumble Cookies.
I'm a fool for strawberries, so that's about a 9 for me.
Bro, because it tastes like a fresh strawberry, bro.
Yes.
But
that strawberry Pop-Tart, that's a great cookie. It's going to come back.
It's going to come back? Oh, there we go.
My dog eyes got big.
Yeah, you see that?
I'll give you a heads up. Don't worry, I got you.
Okay, there we go. Warren, yeah, I'm with you, Warren. Like when that strawberry Pop-Tart was out, I literally went like 3-4 times that week.
That's nostalgia you're eating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that is like, a flavor profile actually up in here. And we know that. So there's a lot of flavors that are like that we do.
I love strawberry Pop-Tart.
High school, freshman year, vending machine. That was breakfast. That was breakfast.
Literally.
Easy.
Back and forth. That one or the brown sugar, I remember. I used to go back and forth.
Brown sugar, make brown sugar,
It's crazy because they had I went on a Monday, like you said, y'all switch flavors. I went in a Monday. I'm like, I see it's still on the TV. Y'all still got it. She was like, literally, this is it right here. You might as well say, let me get a whole 4-pack of that. Oh, no.
Wipe y'all out.
I love that. Sure. I love that.
So, Bill, I wanted to ask you, one more question. What's next for Bill? Obviously, you've had some things transpire. You got out of those holes. You hit a gold mine with this right now. What's next for Bill?
So, it's technically a job, I think. I'm getting married. And so...
Yo, let's go. Congratulations, bro.
I heard it's a job, so I'm going to be prepared for that first.
Indeed it is.
Before I tackle anything else. Yeah. Let me see how much time that consumes before I tackle or take on anything else. No, I'm just messing. But, going back to my Crumbl, expansion, you guys got to remember, I built 5 stores within 3 years. I was on track to almost 2 stores a year. I never had time for myself. I was never a hands-off operator. I just came from my store for a reason. I was there day in and day out. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but a little bit after, COVID kind of healed, there were still labor issues across America where people just didn't want to go back to work.
Right.
I could not find help. People were visiting me, my good friends like Spencer, were coming to my store. That was their only time to hang out with me, was at Michigan Avenue. I was covered in sugar. And, the Spencer was actually there that night. They made a funny joke. I used to wear this mic headset, to answer phone calls. And they used to call me Bill Belichick, the Bill Belichick of Crumbl. I was calling the shots,
Hey, shout out my dog. Shout out my dogs, my dog.
It was so funny, but that was the only time they'd ever see me, was, in my stores. I had to work day in and day out, and I knew the goal I had. I knew that if I sacrificed these couple years of my life, I would be able to thoroughly enjoy the rest. And I think, there's a lot of people that are scared to do that.
Yeah.
And that's what it truly means to be an entrepreneur, is to make those major sacrifices, for the bigger payday. The bigger payday is not money, actually. The bigger payday is a sense of, relief that you're able to do what you want, passive income, and that's the big payday, when your money's working for you, and you've set all the groundwork in your portfolio, and people are reporting to you. You don't just sign up for that job and get to be that day one. You have to work for it. You have to put yourself through the test, because if you don't know how it is to open a store and close a store, or to, clean the floors, you'll never make it. You never will, and that's the God honest truth, So I always tell people that, how do you get to where you get to, or, how do you build all these stores? And I said, you have to sacrifice. You have to keep betting on yourself, which is what I did. I didn't take out any loans building any of these stores. Everything was paid for cash. So,
straight cash, homie.
I went all in. I truly did. Every single store I built, I took the profits from one store and put it right into the next one. I never wanted that money sitting in the bank. Essentially, money depreciates now in the bank. The dollar is going down. So I knew that that's a scary thing. That's another scary thing as an entrepreneur, is to have money sitting in the bank. You never want money just sitting there. It needs to be invested. It needs to be growing. Yeah. And I knew that from day one. Once, back to that little aha moment of my first, success at Wicker Park, I knew that any money I made needs to go into the next thing, go into the next thing. I cannot spoil myself. I cannot, I didn't get that pink Bronco until I built 3 stores. I was driving a Nissan commercial transit van, which I picked up my soon-to-be wife for on our first date. I made those sacrifices, because I knew of the greater plan. And she knew that, I was investing in myself and the long-term play. And so, that's what, I did, to build out everything, and so, that's, now what's next for me is essentially, keeping everything afloat. I told myself a good, 3-year plan for these locations was be to learn it, grow it, and then maintain it, and so now I'm in the maintaining, which is, how do I maintain this growth? How do I maintain the sales? How do I maintain the quality? I've already grew all the stores. I've already learned everything. So now it's about maintaining. And so that's what I'm learning right now is maintaining and then diversifying as well too. So obviously, what's next for Bill is obviously, like I said, I'm engaged. I'm going to get married. I'm going to enjoy my life for a little bit. And I think that's okay. I think, one thing that is also, not talked about too much is making time for yourself. You can get lost in the sauce. You really can. And I love Crumbl for this as well too, because I have a great relationship with them, and they actually told me, go enjoy your life. Like live a little bit. You're making good money now. It's okay. I was like, opening a store. What's next? Opening a store in my store. And then so, finally found the love of my life. I want to settle down. I want to never forget this time of my life. So I'm going to take a little bit of a step back, not a lot, but a little bit. Now that I can afford it, now I have the groundwork done. I can afford management. The economy is somewhat steady. It's a great time for me to enjoy life. And I think that's okay. I put in the hard work all the years. I've, I invested correctly and I'm maintaining the businesses correctly. So I'm going to enjoy my life for a little bit. And I think that's okay. I'm 33, turning 34. And so I'm going to take about a year and just kind of see what comes to me. And see my options and just be ready. Like I said, I never want money sitting in the bank. Obviously, I'm always either reinvesting in myself or diversifying and whatnot. And so, I've always had a passion for real estate. So I may, look into real estate or, take advantage of, the leverage I have now, which is, I have 5, great stores. And so, banks like that. What kind of leverage you got, and so now I have it, and so, and I have a great record. And so for me, it's just, taking my time to enjoy and just kind of, not rushing anything anymore. And so I think that's what's next for me. It's just kind of enjoying life, settling down a little bit, and then seeing what's next, and not really trying to, scatter and, oh my God, what do I do next? And then the next, I did that. I already did that. So now it's like a different time in my career where, none of us can predict the future, and I think that's something that a lot of entrepreneurs try doing, and that's where they kind of hurt themselves mentally, is trying to predict the future too hard. And it's okay to take it day by day, and just kind of see what comes to you. So that's my answer. Just enjoy life and then see what comes to me. And who knows, but for right now, I never got to live, so I'm going to go travel a little bit and
trying to kick your feet up,
have a dope wedding. I think we're going to get married in Italy. Looking like it. Yeah.
And Italy is beautiful, man.
Lake Como, baby.
One of my best friends got married there in Lake Como. It's a beautiful place right there.
Well,
you can't beat that.
Fairy tale. We went there. We went to go check it out, and it is gorgeous. Talk about business. These people are not that they're not good at business, but they are so different in Europe. The way they're, just a quick funny story for you. We were negotiating a venue, and they were like, our style weddings, we have like 400 or 500 people. It's a festival. It's a 3-day event. It is nuts. Indian Muslim weddings are ridiculous. It's true. Like the riding in the elephant and, partying all night. It's what we do. And so, we know it's going to be a little bit modest in Italy. And there was this venue that said they only can do 130 people. We really wanted it, though. And we're like, listen, we'll do 140. We'll pay triple for the extra 10 seats. And they said, no.
I said, no.
I'm like, excuse me? And the translation came down to, we don't want to do the work. And I was like, oh my God.
10 people? That's
10 people?
That's crazy.
10
no
plates?
money. It's a different way of life out there. Like they truly value the way of life and living over money. It's quality over money. The quality of life is over money. And I respect that. Everybody's different. We can't assume everybody, is like the land of opportunity, like America. We're essentially a country that's a big machine. we're a entrepreneurship machine. We're the big dream, and so it's just different over there. And so I thought that was pretty funny, to see that, and that kind of influenced my idea a little bit to kind of take it easy. I'm like, man, I never thought of it like that. Like, like sometimes life is a little bit more valuable than the opportunity at hand. Especially when you already have the groundwork, like somebody like myself. I'm not saying, hey, go make $1 million and chill. This day and age, make a little bit more than that before you chill. Chipotle burrito, $17. I don't know about you guys, but
$1
million.
McDonald's $20.
I got a Chipotle bowl today. That thing cost me $20.87.
Yeah,
crazy.
I can't even hit my protein anymore. I'm like, it's either double protein or guac. You gotta pick one these days.
Yeah, pick one or the other. Man, I make choices.
One of them gonna hit you across.
Listen, kids gonna touch that bank account, man. Like I said, I went to Burger King. Like, there's no way I'm gonna spend more than, man, that thing came with like 20s. I said, bro, from Burger King? What?
Eating.
Some fries?
Bro. Yeah.
She said, where we about to eat at?
That's a food monster right there, man. But
I thought you brought up some great points where you brought up Bill Belichick. Something he would always kind of talk about is kind of like having like blind faith. As a phrase he would always say is, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. Like, it'd be like the middle of the season. Like, you just got to put your head down and work. Yeah. And eventually you're going to see that light at some point. But right now, we're not worried about that light. And eventually we're going to work. You're going to look up and, there it is. So I think he brought up some great points when it came to that. It's a great example for all of us. At some point in life, you're going to got to jump in. You may not know exactly what's going on. You may not know what the end result is going to be. You just got to work. So that's beautiful, man. Before we kind of wrap up, you want to give shout out everybody where your stores are at in Chicago, to give them a heads up to come visit you, come see your beautiful stores, come get some cookies out of Chicago. You got 5 stores now, so
absolutely. I'm Wicker Park, Chicago, beautiful neighborhood, very hipster-like community. I call it the Brooklyn of Chicago. I love it. It's a melting pot. You got everything. Lincoln Park, beautiful area. DePaul University, Wrigley Field. I'm a diehard Cubs fan. That store's I love that store, man. As a diehard fan, every time I go there, I feel like I have a concession stand at like Six Flags or something. There's just so much going on that street. It's just a lot of fun, and seeing like away fans come in talking crap, all that kind of stuff. Love that, man. And then obviously Michigan Avenue, which is, I love, Chicago for this reason, compared to New York or other cities. This is why I love Chicago, is that river down the middle that splits our city. Yeah. And I'm right there. Yeah. It is gorgeous. Every single time I go to that store, I pause for a second. And, we can say what we want about the man, but when you look at that Trump building and face that way, it is one of the most gorgeous sights, I think, in the world. There's Chicago compared to New York, like you can't get like a plain sight of like a skyline. It's so congested of a skyline view in New York, I would say, which is like the second best, visual city. But Chicago, man, you look in a certain direction and you have this gorgeous take on the city. Then you look in another direction with the river reflecting, gorgeous, and you look like, the beachfront, and it is just architecturally, the history. I always recommend everybody, you take the architecture tour. You're going to learn a lot about Chicago.
100%, yeah.
You're on that boat, you realize how big these buildings are, and then you see the history, and you're like, how'd they do this in like 1920, man? Like, how'd they build this thing? We can't even get the highway done, but they built these things in like...
the traffic be there.
Right, man. That union traffic work, dude.
Insane. No. Insane, man.
But yeah, so, that's my shout out is, come to Chicago, check out my stores. If not, check out the beautiful city. It's one of the best places, I say, in the world. It's my favorite city. I'm biased. Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. I've kind of been everywhere. I love San Diego. Obviously, it's a great city in America as well, too. Love Italy, love Rome. But Chicago is beautiful. Lots of neighborhoods, that skyline view, and a lot of culture, rich history. And it's my favorite place in the world. I never want to leave.
That's awesome, man. We appreciate you taking the time out your busy schedule Man, it's awesome, man.
Love you guys. Thank you so much for having me on. And real quick, I just want to give a, kudos to you guys. I did a little research with each and one of you guys and just your podcast. And I wish you guys nothing but the best. And I think this is going to be, such an amazing time for you guys too, because, this podcast is, you guys are learning a lot about, I love the interaction between you guys. You guys are like the best of friends and just hearing about stories.
We are. That's the funniest thing. We are. We all play ball together. Yeah.
And let me tell you, that's what you want to hear from a podcast is just kind of like, you made me think about my friends and it made me miss them, and things like that. And so I love to hear that don't never lose that. And I'm telling you guys, like, this is going to be nothing but upwards. And I really respect you guys a lot for what you guys are doing. This is really cool.
We appreciate it.
Shout out Stan and Perko.
My family, every song I ever wrote. This shit feel like Game 7. Put lines up through my S's.